After you sign into the CDN Pro portal, you land on a CDN Pro dashboard. The dashboard is empty for now, but soon you can track various statistics from this page. Observe the following elements on the dashboard. 1. A banner with a link to the documentation site. 2. Quick links to create your properties, certificates, and edge host names. If you click the Get Started with CDN Pro banner, you are redirected to the Quick Start page. These instructions allow you to get up and running in the shortest possible time. Please feel free to refer to it at any time as you go through this tutorial. Let's get started by creating your first acceleration property. We enter the host name where this property should be served. When a request is received by one of our CDN Pro Edge servers, it checks the host header field and maps the request to the property configuration. After that, we add at least one origin to the property. Here we enter the origin domain and port number while defining our origin. Now we can create our first Edge logic script. Select our newly created origin and set the cache time for all content that will be fetched by customers from this origin. As you can see, the simplest Edge logic script has only 4 lines of code. Now we can proceed to save and validate our first property. We can now deploy our property to the staging environment. Best practices recommend that we test our property to make sure it works as expected. First, we will get the IP address of one of the staging Edge servers. Then we will execute a command to check that everything works as expected. Oops, it seems we forgot to add the certificate and associate it with our property. Let's do that now. That's it. Let's save our certificate now. After saving a certificate, we should deploy it, so it will be available for association. Let's deploy our certificate to staging to test it with our property. We still need to add our newly created certificate to the property we created previously. We cannot edit the current configuration version directly because it becomes immutable after it has been deployed. But there is a way. We can clone the property and change TLS settings to configure the certificate. Then save and validate our property and deploy it to the staging environment once again. Version 1 is already deployed to staging, and now we are going to push version 2 to the same environment. Let's test our setup now. Great! Everything works as expected. But if you just created an account, production deployments are disabled until you send a few test requests to the staging servers. Following that, deployment to production will be enabled and you are ready to go further. Now, let's deploy our configurations to the production environment. After setting the deployment target to production, deploy the property. This also deploys the associated certificate to production. All right, make sure that the requests from end users to docs.pva.digital will be routed to CDN Pro. For that, we create an Edge hostname. An Edge hostname gives you the ability to manage requests at the DNS level. Lastly, we must create a CNAME. This is usually a simple configuration with your DNS provider. And the last test. That's it. The site is now accelerated. Stay tuned for more videos and refer to the documentation site for details.